Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Figured we would start with just a reminder about what Trump said in 2014 when he needed your vote versus what Trump said in 2015 after he didn't need your vote and had consolidated power in the way that he needed to and wanted to. So he wouldn't be held accountable for stealing our files that he stole when he, left office the first time. And then we had to go seize them back. So, most of that stuff is still in his bathroom again, because, a lot of those files were moved back again to Mar-a-Lago. So that's what happened. So I just wanted you to see that really quickly, to remember that Trump did promise you the Epstein files, but you never got them. Hey, Lisa, good afternoon, beautiful. You never got those files because Trump is protecting not only himself, but rich and powerful people who don't want you to know about the things they have done and continue to do. And your inability to want the information just allows them to continue to do the things that they've been doing. So I just wanted to remind everyone of that, as we, move on to some other discussions this afternoon. First, I want to say good afternoon to everybody. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I think I'll switch to that for right now. Actually, I'm going to go back to this because we're going to have another discussion about this whole issue about these countries that are going to stop shipments. Because I don't think Americans are still registering that you're not going to have access to things that you've had access to in the past. That's what you are going. I don't think many people are realizing that. And thank you so much for the shares. I appreciate it. If you all could tap that like button for me, I would appreciate it. And with the share, just hit the copy link. You don't even have to send it to anybody. That counts as a share for me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. But I don't think that Americans are paying attention. These countries here, if they're not going to ship things to the United States, a lot of those things you need. Those companies, those countries produce things that you use that are a part of your life. That's why I continue to say elections have consequences. Elections have consequences. It's real. It's old people love to say, let's go back to what it was. Old people also don't know how to properly use the internet. So do you really want to listen to them when it comes to stuff like this? Do you think it's smart to shut yourself off from the rest of the world versus integrating with the rest of the world? Because we all can make money. It's enough money for everybody to make money. The sun does not wait to come up based upon if Americans wake up. That's not how it works, And until we wake up and understand we are not the be all and end all of everything, we're going to continue to lose over and over because we're the ones losing. So even if you voted for Trump, you still lost too. If you're not some mega rich person with a multi-million-dollar company and you have the resources to put a lot of money in the president's hand, if you can't put them in his hands, guess what? You're losing too. You're not winning. I need you to understand that. You're not winning either. You're losing right along with the rest of us. And honestly, the saddest part is a lot of the people that voted for Donald Trump will lose the worst of everybody. Because a lot of those people are on social services. They're either getting Social Security, they get Medicaid or Medicare. You understand? They get some type of service. Something that's supplemented some way through the government. They may not realize it or they do realize it, but they're not going to really understand the impact of it until they lose their access. Because it seems to me that there are a lot of Americans, until something shows up on their front doorstep, it never happened. Good evening, Miss Sips T. Hello, beautiful. So understand that this is a big deal. as I told you guys earlier, it's important to try to stock up on things. If you know that there's certain things that you get out of certain countries and areas, I would suggest to you to try to stock up on things, because I don't see these trade wars going away anytime soon. Paw loves the entertainment. Paw thinks he's winning. He knows he's not winning, but as long as he can convince you, the working class, that he's winning, that's all he needs. It doesn't matter if he's winning or not. I'm not sure if you guys have made that connection, but it really doesn't matter if Trump is winning, because as long as he can convince you that he is, that's all. He is winning. Think about it. I was thinking about something earlier. I was like, when I think back to the president's health, specifically, I think back to his ear and how fast Trump said that ear healed, compared to his hand that seems to be some prolonged injury that's not able to heal. So it made me think a couple of things. I went, well, either they were lying before about what his injury really was, right? And that's why it healed, because it wasn't what they said it was anyway. But, so it's that, or he's receiving treatment for some long-term issue that the White House has yet to disclose to the American people. And if our president is 79 years old, don't we have a right to know about his health condition? Exactly, Lisa, something ain't adding up. I know it don't add up to me. That's why I was like, that doesn't make any sense to me. That bruise has been on the back of that hand for a couple of weeks. We're getting close to a month. We've been getting reports about the Foley bag, all the other stuff prior to, like, for months now. So again, we can see with our own eyes. And when Trump had that Russian summit, he couldn't walk in a straight line. If you haven't watched the footage of him walking down that carpet, he could not walk in a straight line. And no, what you all saw was not Trump trying to be fancy. That was Paw just trying to make it to the end of that daggone rug. Exactly. Things that make you go, That was what I thought earlier. I was like, something about this doesn't make sense. Those are the questions I would like answered. That's why Trump loves these other distractions. The National Guard, all these other things take the conversation away from his health. Take the conversation away from the Epstein files. Take the conversation away from the economy and this shitty trade war that he's put us in. Because understand, the Republican Party, the party that said they're against raising taxes, just imposed the largest tax on Americans, working class Americans, in decades. Trump tariffs. I told you there are Trump taxes on American people and American families. That's why you pay more when you go to the store, because of Trump taxes. And until Congress could stop this tomorrow. This is why I tell you Republicans agree with the behavior, the things that are happening. This is not an accident. Republicans agree with this because they could stop it. They have majority in the House and in the Senate, but they don't. They love for Trump to be a distraction, because I told you guys the real bad stuff that's happening. That stuff is happening in the Senate and in the House. The laws that are being passed. See, Trump is just writing EOs. EOs only last as long as a president, or up until another president decides to write another EO to reverse the other EO. You understand? But laws are on the books until Congress makes new laws. Right. That's where the dirty, nefarious stuff is happening. That's the stuff you're not really paying attention to, because Trump is a perfect distraction for that. Pay attention. Pay attention to the fact that the federal minimum wage hasn't been raised in decades. If they raised the federal minimum wage, all of our salaries by proxy would go up, because the federal minimum wage goes up. And that's true, Lisa. EOs are not laws per se. They're not laws. They're directives. You could say more of that. They're directives. But the country treats them like they're laws when they're not. You know? And Trump wants to use EOs to create new laws, which you cannot do. So thank you for making that disparity clear, Lisa, because we need to be clear in that. Trump wants to use the power of creating EOs to create laws. Well, you can't do that. Only Congress can do that. That's what the Constitution says. Let me stop for a second and say good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining me. I hope you had a wonderful Thursday. I appreciate you being here with me. Thank you so much for the engagement. I just ask you to do two things for me. Tap that like button for me. It helps me out on boosting my live. And if you could hit that copy link for me, you don't even have to send it to anybody, but it does, help to boost the live here inside of the TikTok system. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, a lot of MAGA doesn't know how government functions. But what did I tell you guys before? Hey, Oscar, good afternoon, handsome. What did I tell you guys before? There are a lot of people that are in your government that they want the public not to understand how government works. There's a lot to be gained when people don't understand. They just want you for your vote. That's all. Hey, dude, good afternoon. Thank you so much, Reggie, for all the shares. And thank you, Bloom. I appreciate it. And Basic, thank you so much. But there's a lot to be gained in the ignorance of people or keeping people ignorant. You understand? So that's why they work so hard to do it. That's why they work so hard to do it. Hey, Jess. Hey, beautiful. Hey, Wendy. Hey, beautiful. But that's why they work so hard to do it. Hey, Maribel. That's why they work so hard to do it. Because they gain. All they got to do is show up in your communities once every so few years when they need your vote, sell you a whole bunch of bullshit. You buy into it. You vote them, continue with them back into an office again to continue to not do anything, but you pay their six-figure salary to do nothing. I mean, it's just a cycle that it continues to rinse and repeat itself. Our government is a reflection of its people. The people are lazy. Let's just keep it all the way a buck. Americans are lazy. Right now, all the stuff that's happening with your government, you're waiting for somebody to step in and save you. That's why it's continuing to happen, because you're waiting for a savior. You're waiting for somebody to step in and be like, well, I'm going to save America from itself. Nobody's going to do that. This is not a movie. This is real life. So America, if you want to be saved, you have to save yourself. Hey, Russ, good afternoon, handsome. You have to save yourself. And that's why I look at Americans, I go, you ain't ready yet. The reason why, what did I tell you guys? I think it was about a week or two ago. I said, what did I tell you? The reason why nothing's changing, because Americans don't want to lose nothing. Let's keep it all the way a buck. Y'all, Trump is right about one thing. Americans will live under a dictatorship as long as they don't lose their couch and their fancy car and their fancy house. And that's the truth. That's a fact. Americans would live under a dictatorship, an authoritarian rule, as long as they don't lose their status in the hierarchy. See? As long as they don't lose their status, as long as I don't get to lose my fancy house, my fancy car, my good job, my nice clothes, you understand? That's the real truth that nobody wants to say. Nobody wants to really admit to that shit. It's easy to sit on the internet and talk shit. You know, I sit here, I talk shit. I'll actually do something too. Hell, I already know I can't get another government job because I talk shit. That's not an option for me. I've already made I made the decision like, well, I'm good with that. You understand? I'm good with I got to make my own way. Sometimes you got to make choices. I'm not telling you to sacrifice everything you have. I'm saying to you to just take a look and go, why things are able to change so fast in a way that's not helpful to Americans. It's because most Americans, the majority of Americans, don't want to lose nothing. Oop. And that's the truth. That be the truth. Okay? That's the truth. And until you're ready to lose something, until you're ready to be uncomfortable, nothing gonna change. Nothing is going to change. I guarantee you that. I'm not saying it to you to just put you in a bad place. I'm just telling you the truth. Because I think some people, when they hear me talk, they come to my live and they expect one or two things to be a simple solution, and you wrap this all up and everything goes back the way it was, and then it just becomes a bad moment in history. But it's like we can just act like nothing happened. Oh, you're far beyond that. You lost the plot on that shit when you voted him back in a second time. See, you could have got away with that maybe the first time he was president, because after that, you elected somebody else to clean up his mess. But then you elected him again. So you no longer have the luxury of pretending like it never happened. You don't get to do that anymore. Now you got to smell your own shit, and you got to clean it up. Now you got to clean it up. You can't just hire somebody else to clean it up. Because see, y'all hired Joe Biden to clean up Trump's shit the first time. This time, you gonna have to clean it up. Nobody's coming to save you. Joe Biden is living his life as he should. Kamala Harris is living her life as she should. Hillary Clinton living her life as she should. Barack Obama living his life as he should. You understand? It's not their job to save you. Because see, they have the resources to go anywhere they want to go. They don't have to stay here. They have the resources to leave. Do you? Do you? That's the question you have to ask yourself. So if you don't have what they have, why are you trying to make sacrifices you really can't afford to make? That's a real question you got to ask yourself. Thank you so much, Philip. I appreciate that. That's a question you have to ask yourself. You ain't got to answer it. You ain't got to give me the answer. No, it's not what. No, it's not. Holiday is coming up. That ain't why. That ain't why. It's why you got blocked, but it's not why. Bye. He only had 25 followers. I figured, yeah. He didn't need to be here anyway. He'll be back. They always come back. They always come back. They have this attraction. I'm like a moth to a flame, you know? And I'm always like, okay, I mean, I guess that's what we're doing. I guess that's what we're doing. I'm just looking to see what else going on. I'm just looking at checking something else. Okay, I was just checking out some stuff just to see if any changes had happened, but there were no changes. I was looking at that damn Caroline No Lip Levitt. Y'all know I can't stand Caroline Levitt's ass. Y'all know me and her, we do not get along. And I don't think she cares. But I'm just saying, I don't like her. What they say. I don't care for her too tough. Because she's full of it and she keep a lot of mess going. And according to Caroline Levitt, Trump is, you know, the best president we've ever had. And I don't buy into that at all. Because I already know better than that. Now I'm checking. Hold on, I'm closing all this stuff I had open earlier. Yeah, I'm trying to just close all these things I had open. Now, I had something I wanted to play for you guys. Hold on, I have to find it. Because I want you to listen to something. Okay, it's your president again. It's your president again. Now, let me find it. Hold on. Now, okay. So, let me go back. Okay. So, I want y'all to tell me if this is true or not true. All right, listen.
You campaign on lowering the price of groceries How will you justify cutting food assistance in this bill?
Let me just tell you, the cut is going to give everybody much more food because prices are coming way down. Groceries are down.
Food and
So I'm not going to play the rest of it because it's just regular people talking. So question. Are food prices going down in your grocery store? Is food going down in you? Because in my local grocery store, the food isn't going down. Food is extremely expensive in the grocery store in all of the grocery stores in my region. No matter which grocery store you go to, everything is expensive as hell. And it costs a lot and a little bit of money. You know, it takes a lot of money to get a little bit of food now. Yep. Say it again, Keon. Say hardly anything under $5. It's really hard to find something under $5 in a store now. It's hard. And if you do find something under $5, you have to buy more of it because the quantity that they sell it to you at isn't enough to feed one person, let alone 2, 3, or 4 or more. Oh, Walmart has gotten ridiculous. But see, you know why Walmart is now level playing field with all of these other people all around? You know why? Because of one reason. Walmart used to buy a lot of their shit from China. They used to buy a lot of their shit from China. So because they used to buy a lot of their stuff from China, guess what? Well, with the tariffs, Walmart's not going to eat that shit. They're going to pass that cost on to you. Those rich people want to make their money. They're not going to have a decline in their profits because of you. Oh, Jamaica stopped shipping too? Ooh. And see, y'all don't understand. See, this is the other thing y'all don't get. We get a lot of spices from these different countries. Spices are not necessarily, all these other spices that we like in America are not necessarily done here. They're not grown and manufactured here. That stuff is done overseas and imported into our markets. And then we buy it. I don't know about y'all, but the scariest, I said this at the very beginning when Trump first came back in. I said the scariest part to me is the thought that I'm going to be limited to just salt and pepper. Oh my God. Do you know how scary that is? To just be limited from salt and pepper. Wait, you're right. Salt and pepper, we won't even have that. We won't even have salt and pepper. We can grow, like I know we can grow sage because my grandmama and them used to do that. So you can like do sage and have it. But who want to have everything they fucking eat taste like sage? We can do rosemary, thyme, basil, you know, garlic, you know, the standard issue shit, onion. But say if you want some asafoetida, you understand? You want something like that? That's where your problems are going to start to set in. When you want avocados, and that's not a spice, I get it, but I just thought about it because I'm thinking about spices. And usually a lot of spice, when I like a lot of spice, I like something creamy too, and avocado is one thing. The price of avocado is going to be insane as this continues, if you even have access. America doesn't grow avocados. That's not what we do. Oh, no more adobo. Oh, God. See, this is the consequence of elections. Oh, I'm going to miss turmeric too. Turmeric, asafoetida, garam masala, all these things that we will no longer, curry powder. See, this is the consequence of elections. This is what y'all get. I'm wishing bland ass food for each and every one of you. Each and every one of you. Because I figured a long time ago, that's why MAGA really upset. You'd be upset too if the highlight of your Thanksgiving was string bean casserole. Yuck. I still can't get down with that. I just never been able to get down with green bean casserole. I love sauteed green beans. But green bean casserole, that's going to be a no for me, dog. Thank you all so much for all of the gifts. I appreciate it. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the shares. Just remember to keep tapping that like button for me and that copy link button for me. I appreciate it. And listen, don't forget the new episode of the Straight No Chaser podcast came out last night. The link is in my bio. It's where I talked about people leaving the United States and what that means for the future. So check out that episode. I think that's something that you'll be interested in. You'll like to hear it. And that's episode 31. But let me tell you, all those other episodes, you will enjoy them. Go check them out. It's a free podcast. It doesn't cost you anything but your time to listen to. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of the shares, all of the likes, all of the gifts. I appreciate that. Wow. Listen, say it again. I shot the tariff, but I didn't shoot his deputy. That's how we are. Things are going really bad for us. And I don't think we totally get the brevity of how bad things are, because it's not until we really, really, really feel it all the way that it's going to be an issue. Now, I wanted to tell y'all something that I forgot to mention to y'all earlier. Anybody that likes to fly Southwest, they're doing a change in 2026. MAGA is going to lose their minds. Okay? All right? So the change in 2026 is as follows. They will require plus-size passengers to book 2 seats. So if you can't fit in one seat with the armrest down, you have to buy an extra seat up front. Enforcement is via self-identification. That means look in the mirror. Or gate agents assessing people on an individual basis. I would rather assess myself than have the airline people assess me. I'm just letting y'all know. If it was me, I wouldn't even let them people fucking assess me. Nah. So it says if you don't purchase the ticket ahead, you buy at the gates. Or if the flight is full, you will be removed. Whoa. Southwest said, shots fired. Southwest cutting up. Southwest says if you don't purchase the seats ahead of time, or if there are no seats, like the flight is full, you get booted altogether from the flight. So when I saw this report, I said, ooh, okay, Southwest not playing. And this is the thing. If Southwest does it, the other airlines are going to watch to see what happens. If it works for them, the other airlines will follow suit. Now listen, them chairs be small as hell. Okay? It doesn't say whether or not you get a refund, so I don't know, Lisa. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, Lisa. That's a good question. I'm thinking they're going to bump you and put you on standby on other flights, which is crazy. Especially if you have a connection and then you get booted. Oh, I get that it can be uncomfortable, but we got to keep it all the way a buck. Okay, come on, let's talk about it. We're going to have a real conversation about it, okay? We're going to have a real conversation about it. All right. It's 2 things going on here. One thing is those seats are European size. They're not American size. They're not American fun size. Do you understand? They're European size. They're sized enough for those airline companies to make maximum profits. Do you understand? Maximum profits. You understand? Maximum profits. So that's a big part of it. It's for maximum profits. The other side of it is America has a culture of excess. Think about it. America has a culture of excess. So that culture of excess is going to mean there are consequences to all that excess. You understand? There are consequences to that excess and all of that access, right? Those 2 things are a problem. That's also why America has an obesity problem. And I'm not judging because I've been there. I'm not judging because I've been there. I'm just saying that's due to portion sizes. Because when you really measure your food and you really look at it, you really know what a cup looks like, what a half a cup looks like, what a fourth of a cup looks like. You understand where I'm coming from? But when you're just eyeing it all the time and guessing what it's going to be, that's when it becomes a problem. No, you're right, Russ. They're not sized for 6'3", 230. That's why I said it's not even always going to be obesity. More so than the bigger in stature people are already at a disadvantage on a place like Southwest. You said JetBlue has extra wide seats. Yeah, but you pay for that though. I think, this is going to be interesting to see what happens. But I was just telling y'all because I saw that story earlier and was like, oh, that's not good. I wonder what it means for everything else. Now I'm looking. Now, I don't know if I told y'all earlier about the Proud Boys and what's going on with the Proud Boys. Now, y'all know the Proud Boys they tried to sue the government for $100 million because of January 6th. Okay? Remember, Trump pardoned everybody. Thank you. Remember, Trump pardoned everybody. Remember that. That was affiliated with that January 6th stuff, right? So, Trump pardoned them and they sued. Well, guess what? The Justice Department dismissed got that lawsuit dismissed, saying it lacked merit. And then on top of that, told Enrique Tarrio, said, listen, warned him and said, you're still liable for a seditious conspiracy, even though you got a pardon. I crack up. All these people made these sacrifices and they bought into that bullshit that Trump sold them. And now Trump is back in office. Yeah, he pardoned you, but he ain't gonna make you whole. He ain't gonna make you whole. The whole goal of it was for you to get him back in power. He didn't really give a damn about whether or not if you got anything of value from it. You did that to yourself. You set yourself up for failure. They thought they was going to give him, and I tell you one thing, Enrique Tarrio better chill out. He better chill out. Because if the government's saying to you, hey, you're still liable for X, Y, and Z, despite the fact that you got a pardon, that's letting you know, hey, there's going to be a problem. That's what they're letting you know. Somebody called me auntie and he looked like he could be my uncle. They not like us. They not like us. But they say bye. Y'all didn't see the comment. We said, me and the admin and I, we saw the comment. And I looked at his avatar and I'm like, boy, bye. But again, Proud Boys played a funny game and now they're still losing. Because again, even though they got pardoned, they still got a conviction. You understand? They were still convicted in a court of law. What, you know why they gave Ashley Babbitt something? Because it was cheaper to get rid of it. To just be done with it. She shouldn't have been paid anything. Her family should have been paid nothing. I watched that footage many a time. She was warned multiple times not to breach that threshold. She chose to do that anyway. So you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So to me, her family didn't deserve anything. Nothing. Most money they've ever seen in their lifetime. Let's keep it all the way a buck. Let's keep it all the way a buck. But that's why I'm like, I'm looking at all this other stuff that I'm just trying to see if there's something I had forgot from earlier. Okay, I know what else I had forgot from earlier. So Utah, because we always talk about the Republican states that are getting hit by all of these decisions that the Trump administration is making. Well, Utah City, they had voted for Trump. in all the elections that Trump ran in. And now they just lost an $87.6 million federal grant. Good. And they lost that grant that was supposed to help them. It was infrastructure related. It was supposed to help reconnect neighborhoods that were split by the highway because it creates a lot of congestion for the locals. Now, this town only has about 100,000 people in it, and they voted overwhelmingly for Trump. They also have Republican senators and representatives like Mike Lee and John Curtis and Celeste Malloy. So they have a couple of people. So with that big old budget bill, their money got canceled. So now they got a 2-mile stretch of highway that still is full of congestion. It's impossible to get through. The federal government was going to come through and help them and relieve that congestion. And the community said, no, we'd rather suffer. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. They literally messed themselves up. It didn't have to be this, but they voted against their own best interest. It's like that town in Texas with the river that flooded. They got the federal money to put a warning system in place, but these people are so indoctrinated. They said, no, we're not going to use the money for that. Instead, they use the money on the police department. Then that storm happens, the flooding happens, they don't have a warning system in place to own the libs. That's why I keep asking, you tired of winning yet? That's crazy. I'm not willing to sacrifice my life for the federal government. That's why I'm not in the military. That's why I didn't follow through. I took the ASVAB, but then I said, I don't think I can make the ultimate sacrifice. Yeah, I don't think I can do that. So that's why I didn't do that. That's why I didn't do that. Just looking to see what else is going on. I'm looking. Now, y'all know I always like to share with y'all the people who voted for Trump and thought things were going to be good, and they're suffering and they're hoping that things change. So they write the president, or they beg their local elected official and want things to change, but nothing changes for them. Because I keep telling people, a lot of this stuff was about Trump needing what he needed. Like, for example, I'm reading about this veteran that voted for Donald Trump. I never understood why any veteran would vote for Trump. Trump is a draft dodger. Trump said, if you serve, you're a fool. So if you served in the military and you made the ultimate sacrifice, and we thank you for your service, why would you vote for Donald Trump? Because you're no fool because you served. It took a certain level of bravery to do that, because everybody doesn't serve. So I never understood that anyway. It seemed to me so odd. Like, well, obviously you ain't take your oath seriously. Because if I took the oath and I was in the service, I would be offended by somebody saying that. I would never rock with them because I made the ultimate sacrifice, and other people I knew they did. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't do that. But this veteran guy, he regrets his vote after his wife, who has held a green card for more than 30 years, was detained by federal agents. She's a legal permanent resident, originally from England. She was detained by authorities in Chicago for 5 days upon returning to the United States from vacation in Ireland. And then she was transferred to a facility in Kentucky. Her husband told Newsweek he 100% regrets his vote for Trump. Nobody cares. Because see, if this shit didn't show up at his front door, he would still love Trump. He only has a problem with Trump now because the problem is showing up on his doorstep. But had this problem never showed up for him, this man would not be saying that at all. He says you look at the news and they're telling the truth about what's actually happening to a lot of legal immigrants. What's bad is that Trump is so demeaning to people and he's so condescending and so retaliatory that people are afraid to say anything. But that's the kind of leader they wanted. Remember, Trump told them, I'm going to be a dictator day one. The people said, no, don't take that seriously. Don't take him literally. That's what the people said. But that was a lie. You should take politics. You should take people at their word, what they say out their mouth. That's all you have. You don't have anything else. So if you're not basing it on what they say, what are you voting for? That's something I need all of you to remember as you keep moving forward and you have more and more elections. What are you voting for? Because if you don't believe what the politician is saying to you, what are you voting for? That's the question that I've had for them, Sierra. They said they voted for lower prices, but then Donald Trump said he would lower prices day one. Then if you say that, they'll say, but he didn't mean it. So then you say, well, what did you vote for? You didn't vote for low prices because you said he didn't mean it. You see, exactly. They're brainwashed. They're indoctrinated. I told y'all, the Republican Party is the people's temple of politics. You have to just keep the same story. You're not allowed to have a different opinion. You are to move in lockstep with everything that the machine says until the machine tells you to say something different. They are literally sheep. They are the very thing they accuse liberals of doing. This is why I tell people they project. Republicans are the kings and queens of projection. Yep, and they have blind obedience. But if Republicans are telling you liberals are going to do something, that means Republicans are doing it, have done it, or thinking about doing it. You said they voted for the appearance of white supremacy. You're correct. The funny thing is there were some immigrants who voted for it too. Hispanics, some Asian Americans, quite a few immigrants from other countries that don't want to be classified as other. They want to be white adjacent. And until those communities deal with their need to be white adjacent and to assimilate into white culture, we're going to continue to have this problem too. Like I told you, it's multifaceted. It's not just one thing. It's not just one thing. Okay? It's not just one thing. It's many a things. And until all of those things are resolved, nothing's going to change. Nothing is going to change. You're correct, Keonce. I agree. A lot of people thought that white supremacy meant all white people. But that's not what it meant. And they thought that white supremacy was only held up by white people, which is not true. You have a lot of people who are non-white who also help to hold up that system. Because they benefit too from being white adjacent. Because as long as they're able to classify themselves as better than black, they doing okay. But the problem with that is black people weren't the majority that white supremacy America was afraid of. It was Hispanic America. They weren't afraid of black America because black America ain't the majority. It's Hispanic America. If you identified as Latino or Hispanic and not white, boom. If you kept it all the way a buck with yourself and your people and your heritage, if you did that, you would understand that you're the majority. That's why they're working so hard to roll shit back. This is why I tell y'all, white America knows that racism exists. They know this because that's why they don't want to be the minority. Nobody wants to be oppressed. They'd rather be the oppressor. Okay? You could say they're afraid of Hispanic Americans because they blend in, but I think some of it is you have Hispanic Americans are bilingual. So you got a lot of white America that gets afraid when people start speaking other languages they don't understand. They get real shook by that. Real shook by that. They don't like that. They don't like people to be able to have conversations and they don't understand what those conversations are about. Okay? A big part of it is language. A big part of it is language. Because notice, one of the first things that they love to say out of their mouth is speak English. That's one of the first things they love to pop out their fucking gums. Speak English. If I'm calling you an asshole, I don't need to speak English. You're an asshole. I don't give a shit if you understand asshole or not. You understand? Oh, it's different when they speak those languages, Gene. That's different. You know, they say that's different. You know, it's different when they speak Italian or Greek. That's different. That's civilized language. That's civilized language. Oh, we had a roach in here for a second, but not anymore. I pulled out the raid. Now, Russ, I see what you say. I don't think Trump is joking about staying around for 2028 and beyond. Hey, Anthony, good afternoon. I don't think that, yeah, I'm very quick. This finger, I don't play around. I don't allow those shenanigans in here. I do think that Trump is going to try to stay beyond 2028. The question is, will his body allow him to do so? That's the $100 million question. Will his body allow him to do so? That's going to be the deciding factor. That's the deciding factor. Will his body survive? I agree, Maribel. I do not think so. I do not think so. But that won't stop him from trying. You know what I just thought about? Okay, y'all ever seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I'm talking about the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The one from 1974, right? The original one. Y'all remember when they brought Grandpa downstairs? And they thought Grandpa was dead, but Grandpa was alive. That's going to be Trump if he try to run in 2028. That's going to be Trump. That's going to be Trump. Literally. Literally. It's like, huh? Literally. Oh, I love to really, Sierra. Oh, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I could just watch that on a humble, just chilling on a chilled Saturday afternoon. I look at horror movies like they're romance movies. It's, you know, they're not, they don't catch me like that. If anything, I'm more like, okay, that was impressive, actually. Yeah, Trump gonna be Weekend at Bernie's. He's gonna be a cross between Weekend at Bernie's and Grandpa in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I'm telling you, because going the route that he's going with his health. Hold on, let me put that picture up I had shown you guys earlier. Where is it? Let me find it. When you look at all of that, come on. Come on, there's something going on. Say it again. Trump was old in 2016. But for some strange reason that I still don't understand for the life of me, America tried to act like Trump was 20 years younger than he was. But I'm telling you, I know why that was. It made old people feel young. See, he got a lot of elderly people to vote for him. They felt young because of Trump. They felt young because of him. So no matter what, they were like, yeah, I remember them days. And he was taking it back to yesteryear. They felt good about that because now they feel left behind. Now they feel left behind. What do you mean, Sierra? What do you mean, Sierra, and not Biden? I didn't understand. Because I missed the other portion that you said up above. You have to repeat yourself. I'm sorry. But they felt like, hey, Donald Trump is... Oh, I know what you mean now. Because I said that Donald Trump people thought he was 20 years younger, but not Joe Biden being 20 years younger. And Joe Biden is the one that rides the bicycle. Oh, they both old, Biden and Trump. But for some strange reason, Americans thought Trump was 20 years younger. But Trump is in worse physical shape than Biden. Trump was in worse physical shape than Biden before, and he's in worse physical shape than Joe Biden right now. And Joe Biden's fighting cancer. And that's just a fact. Donald Trump, this is the result of not taking care of yourself, eating the right things. He's not a physical guy. The most physical thing he does is play golf, which ain't really physical for him. He's barely doing anything. He's barely doing anything. What they say? Bye, Sierra. Let me explain something to y'all in case y'all didn't understand. You can rock with me and I'll rock with you and all of those things. But when you start trolling, I will still block your ass. You've been warned. Just letting you know, you've been warned. You've been warned. So look what they say. So be careful. What Cardi used to say, be careful with me. I'm the same way. Be mindful. I'm like stepping on thorns. Be mindful. You step too hard, you're gonna get yourself in something. What'd you say? Yeah, Trump ain't that much younger than Joe Biden. You're right. But folks wanted to make it seem like Trump was 10, 15, 20 years younger. He's not. He's not. He was just a few years younger. And like I told you, Samuel L. Jackson's 76. Trump's only 3 years older than Samuel L. Jackson. Okay? So if that helps to put everything into perspective for you, he's only 3 years older than Samuel Jackson. So just note that. This guy is not in the best of health. He's not in the best of health. And until folks wake up, it's going to be a problem. Right, we can only hope. Because look, this is the other thing I showed y'all. Where's that picture at? Chill. To see that thing close up and in person. Look, that's what happens when your filter don't work. When that filter stop working and you get to see what she really looked like. You see what that dude really look. Men use filters too. This is what he really looked like. He put the picture from 15 years ago when the dating app says. This is the guy that shows up to the date. But they say, sorry, boo. Sorry, boo. You said, oh, I'm gonna email you one right now. Okay, send it to me. I can't pull it up while we're in this thing because I have to transfer it over to the other thing, but I'll use it tomorrow. Chill. I know Lynn. Listen, look, Lynn is all like, damn, that would be the worst if that's what would show up. Listen, that's the dude you're gonna get on the date. He sucked you in with that old pic. He was catfishing, sis. He was catfishing, sis. He said, listen. I thought you said you was looking for somebody you was gonna love them for them. And that's when you're going to say, I was, but you not you. You're not even somebody I used to know. I never met the guy that I saw on the app, and I certainly don't want to meet the guy standing in front of me right now. The fuck? Say it again. That dude look like a hairball. But that's what happens when you tan too much. You eating the wrong things. He looks a little bloated. But listen, I just wanted y'all to see that one more time, you know. I'm not going, you know, make us sit in that, because honestly, that's not one of those things I can look at all that much either. It's like looking at, y'all remember that time I put up that picture of RFK Jr.'s teeth? Y'all remember that? Oh, I couldn't keep that up. I couldn't keep that up. That was disgusting. That man got all that money and his teeth look like that. My God. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. And he got a whole wife. I just saw your comment. Why you say Trump was looking like Carol O'Connor? Listen. Now, you ain't have to go all in the family on us. But those teeth are horrible. RFK Jr. has some horrible teeth. I stand by that. Horrible teeth. And that's the guy that's in charge of the nation's health. Okay. Y'all saw the comment where he said he thinks that American children, he knows how to make American children, how to make them more healthy. He says he can look at American children and know that they're not healthy. And he's going to make them more healthy. You say why some rich people have bad teeth. Oh, okay. I'm going to tell you why I think some rich people have bad teeth. I think a lot of this goes back into history. Because back in history, way hundreds and hundreds of years, rich people had bad teeth. Why? Because of the decadence. The things that they would enjoy. They always had bad teeth. And bad hygiene, mind you. Rich people. Fast forward to as time goes on, nothing's changed. Rich people still have questionable hygiene. They still have questionable hygiene. And their teeth tend to be raggedy. They either have chiclets in their mouth. They either have those big ass teeth. Where's my thing? Where my little chiclet thing at? I don't even have it here with me because I put it up somewhere. But they either got big ass chiclet teeth, you know, big old teeth like this where they can't even close their mouth, and they super white, they so bright you like, stop smiling, you know. Or they look like melted cheese. Blech. So I think that's why you see rich people with bad teeth. You know what? I'm going to put up that RFK Jr. picture because I'm about to wrap up, and it's the perfect segue as we go to wrap up. Hold on, let me find that picture because dude is requesting. There are the teeth right there. There you go, dude. There you go. You begging for it? There you go. That's what nightmares are made of. Right. Having bad hygiene is a luxury. It's a luxury. Because see, the thing about poor people and working class people, you learn very young. Your parents teach you. There are a couple of things you have control over, and one of them is your hygiene. Right? You're going to be clean and you're going to smell good. Right? Because an indication of your poverty and all this other stuff is the fact that somebody can smell you. You understand? Ciao. Child, you guessing that's a bridge? No, I thought that was corn. Bridge my ass. That's no bridge, beloved. I know you want to believe. You want to believe so bad, don't you, baby? That is called dinner. Oh, yeah. Before I go, I did promise a picture of my cat. Hold on. Of Mr. I thank you so much for joining me today. There is John Giovanni Wick right there, playing with one of his toys in his kitty condo. Yeah, that's John Giovanni Wick. That's him right there with his bad ass. So, you know, that's him. No. Don't say all, because that's what sucks you in. And then you go to rub him and he goes, he don't want that. He like, don't rub me. Don't put your hands on me. This how you know he a black cat. This how come you know he's raised in a black family. He's like, don't touch my hair. He's like, don't touch my hair. I don't know you. Yeah, that guy, if he had a cat town somewhere, he would just be in there chewing on everything. This cat is extremely destructive. Extremely. He enjoys being destructive. You know, he's never innocency, Mandy. Never. Okay? I've had this cat since he was 2 weeks old. At least. He was probably about, he had to be at least 2 weeks old since I've had this guy. And let me tell you, this guy he's quite the character. He sleeps on me every night. Literally lays his heavy ass body on me every night, and we go to sleep. And if I try to move him, he meows like, meh. Like, why would you do that? He don't like that. So, but I just wanted to show that to you. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. We got 65,000 likes. I appreciate that so much. I wanted to remind you all, don't forget to watch Run. The movie Run came out in 2020 because we are discussing it on August 31st right here on TikTok Live, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So y'all don't forget about that. Make sure you watch that movie. I haven't watched it yet. I'm saving it to watch it tomorrow. So I'm looking forward to Run, R-U-N. It came out in 2020. You can go over to the Patreon game and you can see information about the movie and all that other stuff there. But make sure you guys take a look at that. Thank you all so much. Yeah, he's one of my favorite dudes, but he's still bad as hell. Oh, he bad. Him real bad. So no, it wasn't when I was trying to sleep. I was just standing in my bathroom at my sink and that fucker bit me. That's all. That's all. He bit me. We seem pretty cool now, but he's still on 23-hour lockdown. It's really been a couple of week lockdown. I'm going to let him out. I ain't let him out today, but I'll let him out sometime this week. Sometime. Because I got to lock up all the other ladies when I let him out because they don't like him. Oh, he meant that shit, Quells. He meant it. Everything my cat does, he means to do. But he's not... I joke and jest about him being a bad cat, but honestly... Cats are going to cat. You know how cats are not dogs. Cats going to cat. They are not dogs. That's something that I remember. And so I got dogs, I got cats, and they're just markedly different creatures. But don't play with me. Because I'm mama. Don't play with me. But I love you guys and thank you for being here with me. Don't forget, tomorrow is Friday, so I'm going to be on earlier tomorrow morning. Help you get ready for work. So I'll do an earlier show tomorrow. I can't wait to see you in the morning so we can have a good time on Friday morning like we usually do. So I thank y'all so much. Before we get out of here, I want to send a shout out to my top 5 gifters because I do this every live. I appreciate all of you. Just know, I appreciate all of you. Absolutely, positively do. But I want to send a shout out to my top 5 gifters. Number 1, Beautiful, my dog is Charlie. Thank you so much, Beautiful, and thank you for helping me out with the moderation today. Number 2, Daisha. Thank you so much, Beautiful. Number 3, Lisa. Thank you, Beautiful. Number 4, Beautiful Valerie. Thank you, Beautiful. Number 5, Handsome Russ Nelson. Thank you so much, Handsome. And a special shout out to Beautiful Maribel Blue. Thank you, Beautiful. I thank you all so much for joining me today. Don't forget, check out the Straight No Chaser podcast. The link is in my bio. You can, the live from this morning is already on YouTube. I'll make sure to put this one up on YouTube this evening as well. Listen, I'm going to tell you like I always tell you, don't let nobody live rent-free in your head, y'all. Don't feed the trolls, and you can accomplish anything you put your mind to as long as you stay consistent. I love you. I'll see you all first thing tomorrow morning. Be safe tonight. I love you. Have a beautiful evening. Peace, you guys. Bye-bye.